for joining us this morning for our free workshop with aDoddle.org. And today we are doing our first workshop that we've done on lists and favourites. So thank you so much for joining us. Please know that this is being recorded. It is also going out live over Facebook and will be on Facebook for people to see later on. So to give you a tiny bit of housekeeping to start with. So first of all, it is going out live. If you do type any questions in the chat box on AirMeet, if you've joined us on AirMeet, we can answer those for you here and now. If we see any questions later on that were in Facebook, we will come back to you and we will answer you. Sorry, we haven't got the two systems connected. So if you put it in Facebook and you're watching live, we'll miss those for now, but we'll come back and we'll answer those later on. If you're joined us on AirMeet, you can actually, if you want to raise your hand, you can come up on stage and you can turn your camera on if you want to, but at least your microphone, and you can ask any questions. It is interactive, so please do ask if you've got any questions now. For those of you with us on AirMeet, if you don't want to ask them during the session, we will jump out at the end and we will go into the virtual lounge round the virtual tables. And you can join us and you can ask us questions there. We'll be there for about 15 minutes afterwards, or for as long as somebody's there if you've got more questions to ask us. Anything else? Health and safety, if a fire alarm goes off wherever you are, it's an online event, so wherever you are, we have no control of that. Please do leave, and this will be recorded and you'll be able to come back and watch it later on, and just make sure you're safe. Refreshments, again, I hope you've got some with you and that you're comfortable and you can sit and watch, enjoy a nice cup of tea or coffee, and maybe even a piece of cake. I'm Jackie, and I'm the founder of If Everyone Cares CIC, who are the creators of aDoddle.org. And I'd like to now introduce you to Amber. Amber, over to you.
Thanks, Jackie. Yep, I'm Amber. I work with Jackie and aDoddle as admin support. I joined aDoddle as a Kickstart apprentice, nearly 2 years ago now. And then my role developed into what it is now, supporting Jackie on a day-to-day basis with admin tasks, emails, weekly planning, etc. Thanks for having me here.
And on these workshops. So Amber is my great eyes and ears. Just for the sake of pure transparency, I'm autistic and I have ADHD, so if I waffle, I apologise, but I'm also dyslexic. So if you write any questions in the chat or in the Q&A, Amber will let me know that they're there in case I miss them. She'll also be my amazing memory jogger. If every now and again my brain can be like Swiss cheese and it gets a hole in it and I lose full track of where we were, and Amber will remind me and help nudge me in the right direction. So I'm going to apologise in advance in case that happens, but I hope that you'll forgive me. Just imagine I speak a different language and I need a little bit of help with interpreting things. So let's get started. You'll see that we're already sharing our screens. I'm sharing my screen. If you see me looking off to that side, it's because I've got a screen there which is showing me everything I'm showing you. And if you see me looking to the other side, it's because I've got a screen there which is reminding me of the things that I need to cover during this session. So first of all, let's show you the aDoddle homepage just very quickly and have a look around. So if you haven't been to aDoddle before, it is a community map. In fact, we are a network of community maps. This last weekend, we reached 100 area maps across the country, and they are all connected. So you could go on a map down in Cornwall, then scroll up to Scotland, hit update and see the results there. Or if you're on the main UK-wide map, which is where we are now, you can search anywhere across the UK for different organisations. Now, at this stage, there are about 3,000 different charities, community groups and organisations on the map. So you may get to an area where there aren't many. And I'm sorry about that, but if you do, then all we would ask you is, please, if you know local organisations, give them a nudge and say, it's totally free, please create your free profile on there. If you want to start searching the map, because we'll do this today because we're doing lists. Here you are. Actually, first, if you want to start searching, have a look at the area community maps. If I click here, this will show you where the 12 different regions are. So if we click down in the southwest, which is where I'm based, you will see that we have got area maps for all of these here. There you are. Okay, they're not in alphabetical order actually. They're in the order that we created them. So I apologize for that. I just realized that today. So let's go back to the main aDoddle website and come back home. Now for searching, you can either search from here, search, begin your search, or on any of our pages, you can start searching just by typing up in this box in the top right-hand corner. Okay, so let's go to the main search, begin your search. Here you are. Let's type in Bristol. Go somewhere different today. Oh, look, it's corrected my spelling. See, I told you I was dyslexic. It's seen that I made a mistake and it's given me some suggestions. There you are. We'll choose Bristol. I'm not going to put any radius on this or any filters at the moment, but you could put enable radius and you could select how many miles you want it to be around or whether you want it to be nationwide. But I'm going to turn that off for now. You could select more filters where you can add a tag word. So it might be mental health. It could be just support. And it will show you profiles in that area that have those words within part of their content. Or you can choose categories. And there's a whole range of categories here. You just tick on the ones that you want. Again, for now, I'm not going to add any of those on. Then there are some set tags that you can do if organizations have told you whether they're accessible toilets, charging facilities, free Wi-Fi. Now, things like that are really important in this day and age when people are struggling financially because they may have a phone, but they may have run out of data. And so, for example, they want to look on aDoddle's community maps, but they've got no data. So they might want to go to a local library and find out what organizations have got free Wi-Fi, where they can go to get that. So that's quite a handy thing there. And then it will be search. So I'm just going to click the search button now. So you'll see that the map starts to come up and now you'll see all these pinpoints on there. Now you'll see that these pinpoints are different colors. So you have got green ones. That means, so we are the only mapping platform that we've discovered so far, there might be one that we don't know of, that uses a unique traffic light system to help you know how up to date the information is that you're going to see. Now, if you see a pinpoint that's green, it means it has been updated by the organisation in the last 6 months, giving you more confidence that you can trust that the data, the information on there is accurate. If it's an amber pinpoint, then it means that it's been updated in 6 to 12 months. And if it's red, it's over 12 months. Now you'll also see that there are some grey pinpoints on here and purple. The grey means it is over 2 years since they've been updated. Now we haven't removed these profiles from the map because it might be that maybe a team member has left and they're not getting the emails reminding them to update, or they've forgotten that they need to update it. But it could be that that organization still exists. And say, for example, they've put, when you go into their profile, say they've put in links to their social media pages, you can check their social media pages to see if they're active. And so that can help you, but you just know how much you can trust the information in there rather than building your hopes up and then dashing them. The purple ones, you'll see that there are numbers on them. That means that there are 7 organisations in this close area, or 3, or 9, or let's go to Weston-super-Mare. Okay, so you click on the number and it opens the map up so that you can see more. So we've got some here. There you are, Aging Well Service. Now, I'm going to show you this for a minute. So you've got the traffic light again. Down, you'll just see where my mouse is, or where the little hand is. There's a little heart. That is going to be important for the lists later on when you are looking at it in map view. Okay, right. Let's go back and show you a little bit. Oh, look, I'm zooming in and out. There you are. I can update and then it will show me even more results. I didn't mean to do that, but that's me moving my mouse around. Right, Now, you'll see that when we're in the map view, we actually hide our header so that you've got the best view of the map that you can have, rather than taking up screen space with the header and the menu and everything. But you can just go to the top and click that there. Now, let's think you want to create your first list or you want to manage a list. First of all, you would need to create an account, but let me show you our Guides Hub first, so that if you forget any of this, that you know you can come to the Guides Hub. Amber, could you please put the Guides Hub link in the chat, please? So the Guides Hub link, so if you're watching this and you're not seeing this in real time, the link is guides-hub.aDoddle.org. Okay, this Guides Hub will talk you through so many of the aspects of aDoddle and what you can do. The first thing you'd be looking at maybe today is because of lists and favorites. Okay, and this will take you to lists and favorites. I've got some tabs open already. When you're in there, it will talk you through all the different aspects, and each of these is a bookmark. So say I want to go to managing my lists, I click on there and it scrolls down the page for me. But actually, I'm just going to come back up to the top, hopefully. There you are. Now, to create lists and favorites, you do need to have a free account on aDoddle. Okay, you don't have to have a profile on there. You can create a list that is yours, that you can share with others if you want to. That's your choice. But to create an account, you would come back to the Guides Hub to get some information if you haven't seen how to do it yet. Which I won't go through creating an account today. And you can see there's a guide here which will walk you through creating and managing your own account. Okay, how you can reset a password, you can update or amend your email address. You've got all of the information here. But let's just go back to the main aDoddle one and let's come back here. Now, I'm signed into my account now. And when I'm signed into my account, it gives me a few things here. Project dashboard, lists and favorites, your account details, transfer profile ownership, log out, or need help. So that tells you visiting the Guides Hub. You can always get to the Guides Hub from here. But let's go to lists and favorites and I'll show you my dashboard. Okay, so I'm in my dashboard. It automatically took me to the part of the page in my dashboard that covers lists and favorites. But let's just show you around at the top first. You can find projects from here. This will be projects that are in your dashboard that you have access to running, to managing. This dashboard covers a number of things. Managing profiles that you've set up on the platform. If you've been assigned access, so it could be that you volunteer for an organization that has a profile on the map and they've given you certain permissions to be able to edit certain parts of their projects. That will be this. So your projects is ones you own. Assigned projects, this number is the number that you've got access to help. And then the number of your lists. So at the moment, I've got 3 lists here. But let's scroll down to my lists. So I can click on that bit at the top. My lists are here. So to create a list, there are different ways of setting it up once you're logged into your account, but you do need to be logged into your account first. You can create a list and give it a name. So you might want to put food aid, you might want to put environmental projects, you might want to put mental health support, you might want to create the names of your lists first. And that's easy. You would come here, click create a list, give it a name, choose what type of privacy you want for it. Is it public? Anyone can access. That would mean that you can share the link for it. And in time, if you've made it public and it's connected to an area, we might then make that public on a page that people can see who's made a list and what sorts of things. We haven't done that yet, but we may in the future. I'm just letting you know that that is something, if it's under public, anyone can access. That is the type of thing that we will develop in the future. Unlisted, that means only people that you've given the link to it can see. So if you share that link with somebody, a team member, a friend, a family member, You choose to share it through social media. You are choosing to share that link then, and that is the only time it will be shared is if you choose to share it. And then there's private, only you can access. So that means it will just be in your dashboard and you nobody else can see it. Okay. So you give it a name, you choose what sort of privacy settings you want to have for it, and you can give it a description if you want to remind yourself what it's about, or if you're sharing it with colleagues, they can see what types of organizations. And then you click create list. Once you've done that, your list will come up here. So I've got 3 already. I've got Plymouth Food Aid, West Berkshire's Warm Spaces, and then this is just a sample list. Name your list and choose your permission settings just so that you can see. So what do we do with our list and how can we add projects to it? Let's go back to the search. Okay, let's come up here. Let's go Bristol. Or in fact, if anybody's got another idea of something that they would like, do put it in the chat and we can go to another area. So I'm in Bristol, and the ones I want to look at to start with, I want to look at green profiles because I know that if I'm a social prescriber or if I'm a community networker and I want to be able to share those with people in my community, then the ones that I want to share are going to be the ones that are green, that I know that there is more chance that they are updated. So in case you're somebody who has set up a profile on the map, you might go, well, how do I turn my traffic light back to green? That is actually really easy. Log in, and then there is literally a button. What we ask you to do is we ask you to check that all the details are accurate still. And then there is a button that goes, update my traffic light. And you update your traffic light and it becomes green again for another 26 weeks. And you will get a reminder email 2 weeks before it goes amber, 3 days before it goes amber. No, sorry, a day before it goes amber, and then the day it goes amber. After that, once it's gone amber, you will get a reminder every 6 months reminding you about it. We don't want to clog your inbox, do any of that, but it really is easy to update your profile. So let's grab one of these green profiles. Sorry, I'm looking at the screen there and trying to move my mouse on there, but I need to look on the other side. So let's have a look. There's my mouse. Let's go. Oh, what's this one here? Oh, East Isley Emergency Response Group. Okay, now do I want to put that one on mine? Maybe not at this moment, not because I'm not interested, but because I'm thinking about maybe things around mental health or support or food aid or something like that. But actually, this would be a really interesting one if you were thinking about crisis response. If something was happening, if you knew the area you lived in maybe regularly got flooded or something like that, this might be the ideal. Now, if you want to see more about this organisation, you just click here and it opens up the profile so that you can find out more about it. Okay, but I'm going to go back to the map. Okay, it's just going to bring those pinpoints back in. Let's find an environmental one. Now you can see there are different icons on each of the pinpoints. That over time you'll get to know what they mean, and that can help you to find organisations. Ah, look, Greenham Greener. Greener Greenham Group. Dyslexic, I read it the wrong way around. Now, I really like the sound of that. Now, I can do 2 things. I can either add it to one of my lists by clicking this here, the heart, straight away, and it will ask me what list do I want it to go to. And I can choose a list, or I can create another list here. So let's create another list. West Berkshire Environment. May not have done that. I'm just going to make it, I'm going to make it unlisted, only those that I can share it with, and let's call it EN. Right, there you are. Create list. There you are. Now, that list is being created and in a minute we'll have a look. That profile should actually be in that list now, but let's show another way of doing it. Let's come out. We're looking at the map at the moment in map view, but up at the top here, you can see it says your location, the radius, then it goes list or map. Let's look at things in the list view. Okay, and let's see what we've got here. Now, if you have a header image on your profile, it will show here. So I do encourage you to, if you've got a profile on the map, add a header image. There's in the guides hub, you will see there is a section on design, and we even give you access to free templates on Canva that you can use to make your own header image in the right size so that it fits. So please do, have a think about that. So some of these we've got Big Well. This was actually only added yesterday. Waymakers. So they're about autism specialists. Now, can you see at the top of each of these, there is a little heart? Okay. Now this little heart, again, you can click on this to add to a list. Let's see if we can find something down here. Let's add a radius now, and let's add a 25-mile radius. Okay. So we've got some here, and I think we're going to order by the last updated. That was again up here. So we've got voluntary action. We've got NACOA. Let's find one. Bridging the gap, supporting families and young people with autism and related conditions. Let's add this one to a list. So I click here. And do I want to add it to an existing group? Or do I want to, I'm going to add it to this name your list one for now. So I'll put it there and I click add. Now, what you can see is this one here. These have all got grey icons, hearts. This one's got a purple one now. So you can easily see that this one has already been added to a list. Okay, so let's add another one. Let's add Brave Bold Drama. Let's click on that one and go there. Let's add it to the same list. There you are, and add. Okay, so we've just added 2 as easily as that, and we've created some lists. Now let's go in and view our lists and see what we can do with them. So I'm going to go back to show header, because remember, we hide the header of the website so that you can see the things you're interested in. It's not about aDoddle. It's not about the actual maps. It's about what you want to see. So show the header. Now I'm going to go back to my aDoddle, and it says, see, it even says Jackie's aDoddle. So Amber's would say Amber's aDoddle. Well, yours might be Community aDoddle, or it might be Jack aDoddle. Whatever it is, it will say your name based on the name you set your account up with. Let's go to lists and favorites. And now you can see this one here, name your list. This one didn't have any in. But look, it created the West Berkshire environment and it created the new list, but it didn't put the profile on it. So that shows us that what you need to do, it creates the list, but you need to go back to that project again because you've set up the list and just select it again and add it to the list. Okay, but let's have a look at West Berkshire's warm space. Oh, let's have a look at the ones that we've done here, the 2 that we added this morning. Okay, so this is our new list that we've done. Now, we've chosen it's unlisted unless we want to share it with somebody. So to share it with somebody, you have got the link up at the top. You can share that link, and that will be the link that brings anybody to this list. Okay, so if I put this in the chat now, so that those of you who have joined us live can have a look. There you are. Feel free, have a look at that, and you will see this list. It's been shared with you. But let's see what else you can do with it. You can print it. Okay, you can edit it, and you can delete this list. Let's look at the editing. So if I click on edit list, this is about editing the name, whether it's privacy, and the description that you put there. and then you can click update. If you want to remove any organisations, so say their traffic light has gone amber and you don't want them in there anymore, you might want to remove them. And actually, Amber, I've just thought of an update we could potentially ask Pete for. So Pete is our amazing tech, but Amber, could you please make a note of this? This is the way my brain works, by the way, for when we're thinking about potential updates. But wouldn't it be interesting if people could take this profile, one of these, say it had gone amber, and if they could move it to another list that says amber for now, so that they can then bring it back in if it changes back to green again.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So that might be quite a handy update. Cool. Right, now let's have a look at the print. Now, print is useful if, say you're a social prescriber, say you are a community development worker, say you've got friends or family. So say you live down in Devon, but you've got a family member who lives up in Manchester, and you have looked for a host of support or opportunities or places they could volunteer, and you've made a list of them for them, but they don't have internet access, or they don't have access in the same way that you do, but you want to email them a list of the projects so that they can have a look at them. So what you can do is you can go print list. And again, all of this is in the guides hub. You can go print list. Now you can physically print it if you want to, but you can save it as a PDF. Now, thinking about lists and this print ability, we know at the moment that we could make this better. This is our first, what's called an iteration. It's our first stage of us creating this ability, and we know that we can make it better. So at the moment, you get to see the logo, you get to see the name of the organization, you get to see the mission of what they do, and then at the moment you get a link to the profile, and you see their icon, and you see when it was last updated. Okay, we think there is possibly more information that people might find helpful, and we would like to know from those of you using the lists how we can make this better. What else do we need to put in? Does it need the address? Does it need the opening hours? We don't want to make it too big and too long for those who physically got to print it out, but what are the bits of information that you think are useful for those you would be sharing it with? So please do let us know. So if you're physically printing it, all you need to do is click print. But if you want to save it as a PDF, now this bit will be just a guide because everybody's printer and system works slightly differently. So for example, I'm working on a MacBook at the moment, and so I'm using the iOS system and I've got an HP printer. But if you're working on a Windows machine and you've got a Canon printer, your screen may look a little bit different. So please bear with us. This will give you a hint, an idea of what you do. So on mine, what I would do is I would come up to where it says what my printer is. I would click the little arrow at the side and I would select this option here, save as PDF. I would then choose where it was going to be saved. And I've got mine set up to automatically save in a certain place. So I would click save now. You can choose whether you print it as all pages or you can customize it if there are only certain ones. On my printer, I can choose whether it's portrait or landscape. So if I go landscape, it would come out in a slightly different format. So depending on how many organizations you're sharing about and how the format is, you might want to change that. And then you would go save. And it would save it to the place on your computer where you choose for it to go. Sadly, I can't walk you around your own computer and where things are. But I hope that you can see that lists are potentially really helpful for you, whether it's friends and family, whether you're looking for volunteer opportunities for you, or for you might have a young adult who's at university, who's staying away from home and is maybe feeling a bit lonely and isolated. And you might be looking for something for them to maybe go and do volunteering so that they're meeting with other people and it's helping to build their CV. Or if they're feeling very low, you might want to find somewhere where they can go and connect with other people so that there's a local group. It might be that they're doing something around graphics and there's a local photography group, or it might be that they're studying history and there's a local history group. There are so many different things, and aDoddle is about each individual person and their life and lifestyle. It is not saying everybody has to volunteer. It is not saying everybody's in crisis. It's not saying everybody is lonely. Everybody's story is unique to them. And these lists will help you to create what it's right for you in the way that you want them. You might find that once we have got to the point that we're sharing lists that people are willing to share, you might find that you want to be the most amazing community-minded person that wants to go into some of the different area maps and create lists for the area maps and go, these are the things I've found for mental health or for food aid or for this, that, and the other. And you want to share them, or you want to share them through social media because you want to find these incredible organizations and share them yourself. So it's absolutely up to you, but I hope that this has given you a little bit of an understanding of how lists can be used. And we'd love to hear if you think of different ways to use lists. We'd love to hear them. Up at the top again of your list, you can see the name of your list. You can see how many projects. A project is a profile, okay? And we call them projects because it might be a charity, a community group, or an organization. We just refer to them as projects. You can see the privacy. You can see who set it up. So it was Jackie aDoddle that set it up. You can delete the list if you want to from here. Edit it, that's editing the name. To edit organizations, you can move them off there. And as you heard during this webinar, I had a thought about how we can improve lists. I need to speak to our amazing tech to see how easy or difficult that is to move it to another list. So you've got this full flexibility. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Amber, from looking, I don't think that there are any actual questions in there. We had a question before the session, and that was, how much does it cost to join aDoddle? It doesn't. It's okay. So it is totally free if you are a person wanting to use the map, to search the map, to look. Okay. It is totally free if you are a charity, community group, community organization, somebody who provides help and support. It is totally free for you to create your profiles. The times aDoddle stops being free is if you are a local council, a library, the NHS, the police, a doctor's surgery who is using it as part of your work. And then at that stage, we ask you to be really respectful, because it is through those annual license fees that we fund doing everything like this for free. Okay. And the reason, it's the first time I've ever said this in I think it's the first time. There you are. I may have forgotten that I've said it before, but I think it's the first time. We heard a story recently of a local organisation where one organisation was paying to use the map, and they turned round and this message got passed on to us, and they said, well, we don't need to pay because you've paid and we're just going to piggyback on the back of yours. Well, if everybody thinks like that and they're going to piggyback on it, we won't have the funding to keep doing this. So we just ask for people to be respectful, and I hope that you will agree with us that that's okay. Let's make it free for members of the public who are looking at it from their own home, not from a council office or not from a doctor's surgery or a library or whatever else, members of the public, and that it's free for charities and organisations to put their profiles on so that they can be found by those members of the public. So aDoddle is about helping people to help themselves, to find and connect with the things that help make their life better, to support them or their family members' life better. Okay. And we've won some pretty amazing awards for the work that we've done, and I'm really proud of it. But we need those amazing businesses that sponsor maps. We need the amazing councils that are starting to work with us on it. We need them to do their little bit to help us to get it done as well. But anything else that you can think of, Amber, that I haven't covered?
No, I don't think so. I think we've covered everything today, Jackie.
Cool.
No questions either that's come in.
Superb. those of you that are live, if you want to come in and sit and join us on one of the virtual tables, then please feel free to. If you're watching on Facebook, please ask any questions there. We will check to see if there are any questions there for us to answer. If you want to get in contact, please get in contact at hello@aDoddle.org. And you can ask us any questions, and those questions will come through to our tiny team. Amber's just put it in the chat. They'll come through to our tiny team, and then we will answer them for you. But in the meantime, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Once I'm going to finish on time or a bit early, which is great. And we look forward to connecting with you in the near future on one of our next free workshops. Do take a look at our events page on aDoddle.org and you'll see what's coming up next. There will be recordings of this available afterwards for you. Okay, take care and thank you for joining us.
Thank
Bye.
you.